quarter to CeeDee Lamb were absolutely off the chart. So, yeah, he's playing big-time football. I don't think it's going to be enough with this defense over the long haul, but he's playing fantastic.
That's my question. We came into the season asking this, Hawk. Yeah. Is Dak and Dallas, do they have enough offense to overcome what we expect to be a defense that struggled? Last weekend was ridiculous. What they did against the Giants on defense was so bad, no offense could overcome it. We have to assume they'll get at least a little better than that. Will they make the playoffs this year if Dak stays healthy?
I don't think they will.
No.
I mean, I felt confident with Micah Parsons there. You lose Micah Parsons, as you can see, that's a really big piece because now your back end is so vulnerable. You hoped Eberflus and him coming in would make a stake. Dak is playing incredible, but the only way he could play better is if he played against his own defense.
Let's first get it. First guess it. Do you believe the Cowboys are a playoff team this year, bussing guys?
Dak Prescott has the capability to make him a playoff team. It's a matter of Eberflus can make some adjustments and not just tell every single offense what they're doing on every play. No. They're static. They show everything, whether it's one high, two high. They had safeties biting, and they're throwing over the top in a too high situation. It's very, very bad over there. If Eberflus can change a couple of things, Dak Prescott has enough talent.
I would have thought coming out of week one, Dallas potentially, the way that they played, like did they shut down the Eagles' passing attack? But then you watch last week again against the New York Giants. And to Taylor's point and what we're talking about defensively, it's not that it's just so vanilla. Like, you know exactly what you're getting when they line up. Nobody moves on that defensive side pre-snap. And the way they bite on play pass, this is where I could see Caleb Williams having a big game this weekend because this pass defense is bad, man.
Yeah.
We're talking playoffs. If Brandon Aubrey weren't Brandon Aubrey last weekend, we'd be talking about Dallas in an entirely different way. But Brandon Aubrey bailed them out. And the offense has played well, but the defense has to play better. And it's going to have to be more spectacle than it's been. The New York Giants lit them up in Dallas this Sunday. But I will say this. Dak has been on fire. Javonte Williams has been a revelation at running back. They've got great wide receivers. So they are capable of doing some things, but there's adjustments.
So as we put the picks up on the screen, let me spin it quickly to the other side, though.
Dan's facial expressions kill me.
Talk to me about, we talked about one quarterback in this game. How about the other one? What did you tell me this morning about Caleb Williams and how you see this matchup for him against the Cowboys?
He should light this defense up. It's that bad. He should improve a lot from week 2 to week 3. That's what he did from week 1 to week 2. That being said, no one under more pressure in the NFL than Caleb to go play well this week. You can't lose 12 out of your last 13 games. You can't have the situation set up wise that he has with the talent and the play caller, and then watch what Russell Wilson, who everyone says stinks, do what he did to this defense and not go light it up. And so I'm begging for patience, yes. I'm also realistic knowing how noisy and heavy it will get if he has up and down roller coaster, how they lose.
I'm so in the middle on this because, yes, Caleb Williams has not lived up to the Jayden Daniels standard we've seen, but he hasn't been, like, completely horrible. Even if you look at his numbers a year ago, when it was pretty bad, they've never had a 4,000-yard passer. I believe he was like 400 yards away from that. And I think it's because, like, again, we've set a high expectation for him, yes, but he's also set it for himself a little bit, right? The narrative was that Eberflus wasn't the quarterback or wasn't the coach to get the most out of the quarterback. This is a guy who came in looking for equity in the franchise.
Right.
So you set that pressure up for yourself to say, okay, this must be generational. And I don't think after 6 games, even if it goes the same way it's gone the first 2 games this season, that is a time to say, okay, we need a different quarterback. I think he gets all the way into next year, and he should, because the talent that he has actually should make the organization look at the big picture. Do we have a guy? And I think you do talent-wise.
If he improves, yes. If there is improvement sporadically throughout this season in the things that he needs to improve on, I agree with you. If it continues to be a roller coaster ride, go into November, you know this league, that ain't.
Yeah, what if they're 5-12?
Someone brought up a good point here the other day. If he hadn't played last year, if this was his rookie year, a lot of what we see in Caleb Williams, we sort of have the perspective of having seen the struggles of a year ago. If these were just his first 2 games and this is what we had seen, what would we be saying about him?
You'd say give him time. I mean, it'd be his first 2 starts.
But would we be encouraged or discouraged what we saw in weeks 1 and week 2?
At this point, it'd be like you have 2 games. Hey, when it's on schedule, when you have things scripted out, it looks really good. When he has to kind of go out and do his own thing, it doesn't look so great.
I think that's the problem. I understand the premise of the question,
right?
But the things that we're saying still are the things that we were saying last year. So at some point, we have to get over that hump.
His completion percentage this year is lower than his completion percentage last year.
And here's
now.
the problem with what Dan is saying is it's like, hey, you want to give Caleb Williams a bunch of time and be, he's going to work out all these things, feet, hands, feet, the whole thing. But when you look at this Dallas Cowboys defense, this is like, hey, if you don't do it against these guys, then it's like, how are we not supposed to sit here and be like, then maybe you're not the guy? And
So
that's unfortunate, but it is the reality.
Maybe the answer is both quarterbacks are set for a big day. Anyway, we have a more or less parlay for you at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Dan picked these props, and here they are. We're going over on all three of these. On Josh Allen passing and rushing yards, the total is 269.5. Tua, 2 passing touchdowns. So 1.5 is the number. He's going with 2. And Tyreek Hill going. Taylor, start us off.
First off, we need to fix that bus. If you guys want the NIL, we can give it to you guys. My hot take is Joe Burrow's the only NFL player that can lawyer up and sue the team he's playing for the lack of protection he's had the last couple of years. Hawk, your thoughts?
Not in agreement. I think he has some culpability himself. I love the idea. I love to go get the money, but you wanted Jamar Chase, which has worked out great. But a tackle would have been cool. You wanted T. Higgins. All those are assets that you can put into your offensive line. No? You're not a big old line guy?
Here's some data that can help his point. Andrew Luck was sacked 174 times in his 86 career games. Joe Burrow sacked 201 times in his 71 career games.
That's the way you want it, Hawk?
They didn't hold him hostage to play quarterback.
Here's the question. Dan, I will have people sitting up here telling me that sacks sometimes are a quarterback statistic.
Sure.
To what degree is Burrow himself? Because, I mean, the line on the screen is a hot take. I like it, and I think there's a lot of people who feel like the Bengals have failed Joe Burrow. And I think we're all very afraid. You brought up the name Andrew Luck the other day. A lot of us are very afraid that we're going to see his career shortened. He should be one of the great players that we've ever seen.
Sure.
But how much of it, I'm asking you in an honest way, I'm not trying to lead the jury here.
No, I know.
How much of it is on him?
A very little percentage. I mean, certainly the style of offense that he does like to play, because he likes to play spread out like what he did at LSU, part of it. Likes to hold on to the football as long as he can to make some throws, part of it. But there's a lot more going into it, meaning the way that they've built their offensive line, the commitment to the assets of doing so and making the right selections, the style of offense, the scheme that hasn't evolved to center on protection. I mean, like Green, I'll tell you this. When I was in Houston with Gary Kubiak, every single play, every play started with, can we block this or not? And if we couldn't, he wouldn't call it. And I don't think that's been the case.
So we missed you Monday. You were doing the game, but Rex was very hot on that. He was very upset, and he said, "Can we not put 5 guys out in every single route?" They do not focus on the protection. That's what you're talking about. Is that their offensive scheme focuses on getting guys out into the route and not on protecting the quarterback.
I do think there's a piece in every part of it. To your point, but I think when I joked earlier about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, my favorite receiving core in the league before. Joe Burrow, the style of play that he plays, that's why he is special. Because we talk about, you're seeing the rush in front of you with Aaron Rodgers. Joe Burrow doesn't see anything in front of him. He's going to hang in there as long as possible, extend the play as long as it needs to get a guy open, and that's what makes him special. But with new information comes new approach. Now you understand, okay, we got to change what we're doing a little bit to make sure our quarterback is always in the lineup.
Yeah, obviously you're not going to file a lawsuit if you're Joe Burrow, but if next time you come back from this injury, you need to talk about the blocking schemes. If you watch the film of the Bengals in most of their games, very little do you see a tight end sticking in and hitting a chip to the man side while the other way is sliding. You can do H2, H3, which everybody looking out there, it's a 7-man protection, send T. Higgins and Jamar Chase out there on deep routes. There's a lot of things you can do to help and protect Joe Burrow, even when they're spreading it out, and they just, for some reason, choose not to do it and not to get assets in their offensive line.
Well, they're staying 10 toes on your hot take.
But I mean,
you got to take this.
You're right. Joe Burrow is going to sue.
I think it should change the Bengals. I think it should change the way a lot of quarterbacks or offenses are handled. I think it should happen in Washington with Jayden.
It's a devastating injury in Cincinnati, without question. All right, that's hot take number 1. The next one takes us to Green Bay.
I will propose this second one as a question. Are you a former first-round quarterback looking to rejuvenate your career?
Yes.
Kevin O'Connell is your answer.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. That's an excellent one. It's not at all what we had planned, and thus there's nothing on the screen right now because we just kind of made that one up as